Happy Wednesday, my friends, and welcome into another edition of Prime Sports World. And on today's episode of the Prime, we're going to talk briefly about the Jonathan Taylor situation, and then we're going to get into predicting the AFC, as the AFC is, pretty interesting over there in the AFC. My name is David Huffman. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Right there is my co-host, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. And let's not waste any time. Let's just jump right into Mr. Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts. Colts unable to find a trade before yesterday's quote-unquote deadline. Now he's on the PUP list for the first 4 weeks of the season. He still could be traded before the actual trade deadline, but he will have to still fulfill that 4 weeks of the PUP list. It is important to note he did have some sort of ankle surgery sometime in January, but it was mostly just to clean up some debris out of that area. Nothing that should have kept him out for even this point. He's long said that he's healthy and he can play. TJ, this has become a very messy situation between the Indianapolis Colts and Jonathan Taylor. And how did it get this way? And the Colts are like one of the few teams that actually can afford to pay their star running back and should be incentivized to pay him to give their rookie quarterback the best opportunity to be successful. How did this get like this?
Jim Irsay is an idiot. Is that plain and simple? Like, I feel bad for Chris Ballard, who's a solid, who's a more than solid GM, and this is the guy he has to work for. An idiot who comes across saying, if I die tomorrow and Jonathan Taylor's out of the league will go on. Like, obviously, yes, that's true, but you don't say that out loud, dumbass. Like, you don't, like, because that just makes it sound like you don't care. Like, you don't value, like, you don't care. So if I'm Jonathan Taylor, why would I want to play for a guy who doesn't care if I do or not? Like, why would I want to play for that guy? If I'm like, why should anybody want to play for that guy?
This is 100%. Jim Irsay has made a big old mess out of this whole entire situation. And when you say like a quote, there's like, if you want to talk about, well, how did this get so messy? One statement: Jim Irsay is a dumbass is the perfect statement. How did this get situated? Because of Jim Irsay. They're in a scenario where they could have, like, of all the running backs that, like, have gripes, like, the Colts are in a scenario where they should probably incentivize paying a guy who's going to make their rookie quarterback's life easier. The arbitrary deadline that the Colts put on this trade deadline, that like it has to be done by the deadline never exists. It never existed. Like, they put this deadline on themselves, and now they have to hold themselves to it. The only deadline that existed is because yesterday was the deadline for the PUP list, and now Jonathan Taylor is on the PUP list. And if you're an NFL team, are you going to trade for Jonathan Taylor in the first 3 weeks of this season, or first 4, while he still has to be on this PUP list? No, you're going to wait until after he gets off of it. Then you only have a few weeks before the trade deadline. They have made a messy situation of a situation that should have been easy. He's the best player on your team. Pay him.
And if you want to argue, like, what either way, he's one of your best players. If you want to say Quentin Nelson, fine. If you want to say DeForest Buckner, fine. But he is the engine that makes your offense go. Like, you don't have an offense without Jonathan Taylor. And this is just you said it. Rookie head coach.
It is a rookie head coach,
and it is a rookie head coach. Like, rookie head coach, rookie QB. And the best player on the team isn't going to be there for 4 weeks. And on top of that, no team is going to want to trade for him, maybe not even afterwards, because now your asking price has gotten ridiculous. Like, it's now come out that the Dolphins were in on the Jonathan Taylor sweepstakes, and the Dolphins said no because they're like, oh, well, we want Jalen Waddle. We're not going to give you Jalen Waddle.
It's just not realistic. It's turned into the Toronto Raptors of the NFL with their unrealistic expectations for their players. This got messy because of one person, Jim Irsay. Where do we go from here? How does this get resolved? Do you think there is a resolution this season, or do you think this continues into next offseason potentially?
I don't. I think it continues because, like, at the same time, like I say it all the time, just because a player demands the trade, the team don't have to honor it. They don't, right? Like they don't have to honor the trade request. So like, which is why I wasn't um I wasn't like quote unquote excited when the coach was like, all right, we'll grant you permission to seek a trade. It's like you still don't have to trade them. You still never planned on trading them. So at this point, you're just toying with the man's emotions. Maybe he knows that, but at the same time, it's just gonna continue. I don't know what's gonna go. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I really don't. The value of the running back market right now is what it is, and Jim Irsay is not helping because Jonathan Taylor he was gonna be the guy to reset the market. He was gonna be that guy. He was gonna be the like this is the true value of the running back. And to the Mad Dog Russos of the world who think you don't need running backs, if that's the case, then get rid of the position altogether and see how far you get.
Yep. I think the resolution. I think that he will get traded at some point. I think it'll be before the trade deadline. I think that the resolution will be Jonathan Taylor will not play again for the Indianapolis Colts. He will get traded sometime after he's removed from the pub list, before the next week. That's just my honest opinion on it. The other thing is he was supposed like him and Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs were all supposed to reset the running back market, but all of them have kind of, at least Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley have kind of caved as Jonathan Taylor has continued to fight this on his own over the last few weeks or months. It's sad to see. He's one of the most talented running backs in the football. Your rookie quarterback and rookie head coach could really use him on the football field. It's just a guy that's going to make your engine offense go. He's the best player on your offense by far. Yeah, I don't know how the Colts. I don't know. This is not how you run a good. This is not how well organized, well run franchises are run. Like you draft a quarterback and you should probably give him his best opportunity to be successful. This is the exact opposite of that. And I wish I had like a little bit of a transition thing that I could use so I could get away from this topic. Let's talk about the AFC playoffs. First of all, last year's playoff teams. Let's talk about them. At AFC North, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. AFC West, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. AFC East, Buffalo Bills. AFC South, Jaguars. Major wild card teams. We got the Los Angeles Chargers, Baltimore Ravens, and then the Miami Dolphins, headlined by Skylar Thompson, who played in that playoff game against Buffalo and actually did pretty good in that game, actually. Let's talk about it a little bit here, TJ. Let's talk about these divisions. Let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the AFC North. Who do you expect to win the AFC North?
See, I think this is the easiest. I think this is the hardest division in the AFC. You got four good teams, right? All capable of winning. I wholeheartedly think Baltimore would have won it last season had Lamar Jackson not gotten hurt. I mean,
I think so too.
Excuse me, they were winning the division up until he got hurt, and then he gets out, and then they lose the division, which is why I never understood the hesitation in not giving him his money. Oh, he has one playoff victory, and the Ravens are with you saw what they are without him. Right, then it's not nearly the same. So that being said, I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens. I know Cincinnati is gonna. They have been winning it recently, but like you said with the I forgot who you said yesterday with the team that keeps taking cracks at like wide receiver, like that's what Cincinnati needs to do with taking cracks at this offensive line. They still haven't found the right combination. Like you hope Orlando Brown Jr. fixes things, but he's only one guy, and Joe Burrow is still gonna get killed back there because the O line is still not good outside of just that one piece, right? So I'm gonna go Baltimore. And yeah, Baltimore.
I'm staying pretty much very chalk when we talk about these teams winning the division. When we talk about the teams that won the division, I got all four teams winning the division again this year. But let's start with this one. I got Cincinnati. I just think that Joe Burrow is that guy. I think he's like that level talent. I think he's going to keep the offensive line. Yes, is a concern, but it's been a concern. They continue to win the division last 2 years in a row. Yeah, Cincinnati will be the AFC North champion. That's all said.
I also find it funny how like Bengals fans talk down on Justin Fields, like, oh, the Bengals offensive line has been bad and Joe Burrow figures it out. Yeah, he also has the best receiver trio in the league. So imagine having a bad O line and no weapons. Like, imagine that. Like, seriously.
Yeah, it's not what you want. Moving on from there, let's talk about the AFC West. Kansas City Chiefs obviously came out of the AFC West this last year. TJ, of the teams, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously with Patrick Mahomes, Los Angeles Chargers, obviously made the playoffs last year, Las Vegas Raiders, as they can move on with Jimmy Garoppolo as their starting quarterback. Now Sean Payton leads the Denver Broncos into battle. Who do you got coming out of the West?
Well, yeah, Chiefs with Chris Jones, they win this. Chiefs without Chris Jones, it's the Chargers. It's that simple. And right now, it looks like Chris Jones is not there, so I got to go with the Chargers.
Yeah, I know when we did this with Kansas City Chiefs episode, we talked about Chris Jones and how we thought they could swing the division. I'm still going to go on. I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs still win the AFC West, but I don't feel great about it. And I think Chris Jones was obviously for sure we're going to be on this team, I would feel much better about it. But I feel the way I feel about it. I'm taking Kansas City to win the AFC West. I just think that they have the best player in the league, and I think that'll catapult them enough over the Chargers. But it will be close without Chris Jones.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers.
Moving on from there, let's talk about the AFC East. As this division has got very interesting in the offseason. Obviously, the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen won this division last year. The New York Jets added Aaron Rodgers to the mix as their quarterback position, along with a bunch of other Packers. The Miami Dolphins expect to have a healthy Tua Tagovailoa this season, and the New England Patriots moving forward with Mac Jones as their for sure quarterback because they released everybody else on the roster. Maybe the new
he won't. Speaking of that, I never understood. Like, you released Bailey Zappi, and you plan on bringing him back if he clears the waivers. Then why'd you release him?
I mean, there must be some kind of money saving thing that I'm not aware of because otherwise it makes a little.
Hey, that makes because how much is he making?
I can't answer any of these questions, man. This is you go talk to Bill Belichick. He's the one that makes these decisions, not me.
Like, in terms of NFL money, the guy's making peanuts. Like, come on, I
don't know how you justify it because you're going into the season with no backup to Mac Jones, who that is what it is. With that all being said, I think they have a repeat winner of the AFC East. Buffalo's won this division 2 years in a row. I think that continues this season as well. I do like what the Jets have done. I do like what Miami's done, adding Jalen Ramsey, who'll miss some time. But Buffalo is the cream of the crop in the AFC East.
Yeah, I don't like what they're trying to do. The media is trying to push this narrative that Stephon Diggs is not happy. He's lost faith in Buffalo and all this other stuff. I'm like, and Stephon Diggs just came out and said that none of that is true. Is it frustrating? Yes, it absolutely is, because you think you've been on this precipice. You've been kicking down the door. Excuse me, you've been kicking down the door for like the last few seasons, and you still can't get in. And honestly, I would love to see what have happened had Von Miller not torn his ACL.
Yeah, he's going to start the season on the PUP list as well. So he's going to miss the first 4 weeks of the season.
Like, I would have loved to see what happened. What would have happened had this team been fully healthy? I would have loved that. I don't know if if Sean McDermott is necessarily on the hot seat. I think
he's for sure on the hot seat.
I can't say that. I can't say because how Like I don't.
I think if this team, this team doesn't go to the AFC Championship game this year, I think there'll be conversations about Sean McDermott. I'm not saying he's going to get fired because I don't, but I think the conversation will begin, and I think there could be a scenario where like maybe this isn't the guy to get us over the hump. We have Josh Allen, we have arguably a top 5 quarterback. I think that conversation will be had.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, like, it's kind of hard to be like you're winning 12 games, like you're winning 12, 14 games a season, and this coach is going to be on the hot seat. Like it also, I know I kicked the tires on Kellen Moore getting that job in Buffalo if this happens, like if that does happen. Like say they go to the divisional round again and they get matched up against a Kansas City or Cincinnati or Baltimore, and they get sent home early. But at the end of the day, you also got to chop it up to, hey, we're the harder conference.
Yeah.
You got the odds of you running into one of those contenders super early is very high.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, like because expectations is a hell of a drug, right? Like Buffalo isn't expected to be a team that's just making it to the divisional. Like they're expected to go to the Super Bowl, and so when you fall short, that conversation starts.
Okay.
But yeah, I have them coming out of the East. I think they're the best team in the East.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not
Moving on from the South, we got the AFC South. Obviously, the Jacksonville Jaguars won the division last year. This year, we got the Trevor Lawrence-led Jacksonville Jaguars. We have the Ryan Tannehill-led Tennessee Titans. We have the C.J. Stroud-led Houston Texans. And we have the Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor-less Indianapolis Colts. Jaguars are repeating. I don't think this conversation needs to go any further than that. The only team that even has a slight shot is Tennessee, but I'm not sure what their offense is going to look like. I know they have DeAndre Hopkins, but Ryan Tannehill has been very inconsistent in staying healthy the last couple of years. I do not trust.
Here's the thing. I don't think Ryan Tannehill starts the season as they haven't named a starter. Notice that, right? Everybody's came out and announced who's starting. I don't know why Houston thought it was a discussion to they waited till like 11 o'clock at night to announce that CJ Stroud is. Oh, we knew CJ Stroud was the starter.
Don't let those Davis Mills reporters get wind of that.
No, and no disrespect, to Davis Mills. Davis Mills, he 100% earned the right to fight for the starting job. I'm just saying, like, you don't draft the guy second overall and not start him.
Especially when Davis Mills hasn't been a world beater at any stretch of the imagination. But I don't think the Titans need to announce the starting quarterback because I think people just assume it's going to be Ryan Tannehill.
No, you gotta announce it because you got.
Did the Bears announce who their starting quarterback was?
Yeah, we know. No, because we already know who it is. But
I already know who the Titans starting quarterback is going to be as well. No, if Ryan Tannehill's healthy, he's the starting quarterback.
We really don't, though. Like, I didn't see Ryan Tannehill out there in preseason. I didn't see him at all.
He doesn't need to. I mean, Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill is a pro.
Okay.
Moving on from the South, let's talk about these wild card spots. TJ, who do you got representing the AFC as your 3 wild card spots? As last year, we had the Chargers, Ravens, and Dolphins.
Chargers, Ravens. Well, I got the Ravens winning the division, so Cincinnati.
I have Cincinnati winning the division. I also have the Ravens making it as one of my wild card teams.
Okay, so we're just flip flopping on that one.
Yeah.
All right. The Chiefs, because I got the Chargers winning the division, and
then flip that because I have the Chargers making it as a wild card team. But yeah, they leave that last one, which
that last one, man. Whoo! So
that last one. I mean, come on,
man, that last one. So you got at least what?
There are probably
5.
There are probably 6 teams in the running 6? When you talk about these teams that could be playoff teams. So we got Pittsburgh, Cleveland, the Jets, Dolphins,
Tennessee,
Chargers. I think there's only one team coming out of the South.
It's gonna be it's gonna be super like what you call it. They gonna try to kill the clock, and I wholeheartedly would not. It would not shock me at all if Malik Willis is starting for the Tennessee Titans.
I would be I would be legitimately floored if anybody besides Ryan Tannehill is the starting quarterback of the Tennessee Titans week 1. Like
I'm going Malik Willis. You got to see what the like. You went back to back. No.
man, we saw it. We saw it. I think they've seen what all they need to see.
Come on. That's that's legit. Like saying what you saw with Justin Fields. Like, oh, we saw enough. He's not the guy. Like, no, get the guy some help.
That's fair, but unless they're gonna go into a full-fledged rebuild, which it doesn't seem they're going that direction because you don't bring in DeAndre Hopkins. Ryan Tannehill will start this season. Like guarantee it.
I'm going Malik Willis.
But with that being said, the other wild card team is coming out of the AFC East, in my opinion. I think it's going to be the New York Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be good enough to will this team, and the defense should be a top 5 unit. The Jets will be the third wild card team. So that rounds out my wild cards: Ravens, Chargers, and Jets. In order, I think it'll be Ravens, Jets, and Chargers. But that's neither here nor there. But who do you have as your third wild card?
Let's see. We got Pittsburgh, you got Cleveland, Miami, the Jets. Damn, that's tough. That's tough. In my opinion, it's really only like those that I just listed. I don't have faith that the Raiders are going to be in this thing. I don't have faith that I'm inclined to agree with you that the South is only going to give us one, and that's whoever wins the division, unless it's just that nip and tuck between the Jags and the Titans. Like, crazier things have happened, right?
Crazier things have for sure happened.
Crazier things have happened. So I got the Ravens winning. So the Bengals are one of my wild card teams. I got the Chargers winning. So the Chiefs are definitely one of my other wild card teams. And it's like who do you expect to step up and make more plays between the Dolphins and the Jets? Like, first off, those 2 games between those 2 teams they gonna be fun as long as everybody's healthy.
Yep. And hopefully there are a couple of them around prime time.
I swear to God. Oh man. You got Sauce Gardner and that defense, and you got J. Ram and that defense. Quentin Williams, Christian Wilkins. Damn, Bradley Chubb. Damn, it's playmakers everywhere.
Yeah,
on
both teams are extremely loaded.
You going with the Jets? Why? Why are you going with the Jets?
It's just the Aaron Rodgers factor. Aaron Rodgers is the difference maker when it comes to this conversation, and I think he will. I think he's going to be the one that if he's going to take the Jets over the hump. They were 7-3 before their quarterback play fell apart last season under what was a fantastic defense. But I'll be honest with you, I would not be shocked if any of the teams that we talked about, like the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Miami Dolphins, any of those the Denver Broncos, even though I have less faith in them, but if any of those teams end up becoming playoff teams, wildcard teams, I wouldn't be shocked at all. Like, I think the AFC is so deep right now that I could legitimately see 10 of the 16 teams legitimately playing playoff teams next year. The only teams I don't think are going to be even in the running for a playoff spot are the New England Patriots, the Texans, the Colts, and the Raiders.
Oh my God!
So I'm going Jets.
I'm inclined. Oh, that's a sound argument. That is a very sound argument. Here's my argument for the Dolphins. They were the number 1 offense till Tua went down.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is gonna break every possible.
He was probably going to have over 2,000 yards.
He's gonna have over 2,000 yards if he doesn't get help. If Tua doesn't get hurt. Skylar, what's his name? What was his name? Skylar Thompson.
Yeah.
Skylar Thompson went to Buffalo and gave Buffalo all they could handle. They needed to dig deep to win that game. I'm not gonna say if Tua was there, they win, right? I'm not gonna say that, but this what you call it, the disadvantage that Miami used to have in that division, because every other team is up north, every other team gets cold as the season progresses. That's not really a disadvantage anymore.
Yeah.
It's not the disadvantage people think it is, right? I think when it comes down to it, I'm going to go Miami. I have the Jets missing the playoffs in Aaron Rodgers' first year, but it's by the slimmest of slimmest margins. So I'm going to go Miami. I'm going Bengals, Chiefs, Miami as my playoff teams. I mean, wild card.
I can for sure see that being the way it plays out. Let's talk about Super Bowl. Who at the end of the day is going to represent the AFC in Super Bowl in the going up against for the Vince Lombardi Trophy?
The Baltimore Ravens.
I don't hate it. I'm not agreeing with it, but I don't hate it. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. I feel like a broken record saying Buffalo for the last 3 seasons, but I think this will be the season where they get off the hump. Give me Buffalo, go to the Super Bowl and represent the AFC. And on that dark horse side, who do you guys your dark horse representative?
Miami, the Miami Dolphins. In this scenario, it's the Miami Dolphins. They're the dark horse.
My dark horse is a team that did not make the playoffs in my predictions. I actually think it could be the Miami Dolphins as well. I didn't have them making the playoffs when I'm predicting who I think could go to the playoffs. But I think if Miami gets hot and they get their offense could be scary good next season, they could potentially be a team that's a dark horse Super Bowl favorite. I didn't even have them making the playoffs, but I think there's an opportunity if they did make the playoffs. I don't want to play them in the playoffs. That's for sure. That offense looks scary at times. But yeah, that's been our predicting the AFC. Let us know down in the comment section who you think is going to the big dance out of the AFC, and also let us know what you think about the Jonathan Taylor situation, because that is
so I'm glad you brought that back up. So Chris Ballard, first off, he had a press conference there. He just looked so damn dejected. And I know you're new to the Twitterverse, so I will send the clip to you, to the group. And he's
did he look like Skip Bayless on the host of
no, so he's wearing a hat. He's wearing a Colts hat, and the brim of the hat is clearly lowered over his eyes. Like you can barely see his eyes. So it's like, yeah, he's defeated. Like he is just done. But he pretty much says he doesn't think Jonathan Taylor's absence will hinder Anthony Richardson's growth, and he's like, did it stunt Andrew Luck's growth without a special talent? Yes, it did. It literally prematurely retired him. It prematurely retired him, not having a reliable run game to dump the ball to, or get the ball out of his hands, so he didn't take all those unnecessary hits that he took over the course of 6 years, and prematurely so. Yes, Chris Ballard not having a special running back definitely hurt the growth of Andrew Luck. It prematurely retired him. Andrew Luck is still playing right now. If he had all the stuff that you have right now, a good O-line and a good running back.
Yep.
But yeah.
Let us know down in the comment section what you think about any of the takes we had today, predicting the AFC playoffs and also the Jonathan Taylor situation.
Hey, bro, I'm 29 years old. I just turned 29. Andrew Luck retired at 29. Like he literally retired in the prime of his career.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm David Huffman. Right there's my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins. Look forward to Fantasy Football Weekly tomorrow as me and Izzy break down week 1 for you guys as we get ready to play fantasy football. TJ, no comments there. But yeah, TJ, what do we do here at the prime, my friend?
He say no comments. I can't say. We bring the heat. Fine. Your
running mate's not here to back you up on that one.
like y'all can have it. Y'all can have that. Like again, y'all can have it.
But yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow. You'll have a good safe and have a great night, buddy.
I'm just glad you don't ask me to do it anymore. Like that's just great. Like that's just.
Yeah, I know better.
Thank you.
Peace out, man.